Hey everybody, it's Marsh Monkey here, visiting my Arrow Season 4, Episode 15 review and rundown. Whole lot of stuff to talk about. Vixen, amazing. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get started. So basically what's happening in this episode is that there's a lot of Damian Darhk, but also Felicity. So let's start out with what happened in the beginning of the episode with Felicity trying to walk. We found that out from what was going on with Curtis, and so she tries to walk. Like, she's with Curtis's husband. I can't remember his name, but I know they're married, but I can't remember his name. But, you know, he was there, and he was talking about, Felicity kind of have to have, I can't even talk, to kind of having to be patient, you know what I mean? Like, this is a big deal for her. Like, she's walking after, like, what, like, weeks or, like, a month now? So it's craziness. But anyway, what happens is that she was trying to walk, didn't work out very well, and there's an Easter egg in there as well when he talked about meeting Curtis as he was, working out, for this, decathlon or decathlon. Is that what? No. Well, you know what I mean. Bronze, like, thingy, I guess I could say. But I don't remember what it was called exactly. But, for him working out for that, and that was kind of an Easter egg to what happened in the comics. But anyway, yeah, that was pretty interesting too. And then we have what's going on with Vixen. So basically what was happening is that Oliver was walking down with Felicity. Damian Darhk comes in and says, "Hey, I've got your son." And Damian Darhk in this episode was hilarious. Like, he was just such a good villain. Like, he was like, "I win, you lose, rinse, repeat." Like, I thought that was just hilarious. Like, every line that he had was on point. And I think that I don't want Damian Darhk to leave. But over the episodes we've had, he's been so serious. Like, this Damian Darhk, I want more of this. I want more of him, like, doing all these jokes, these lines, these awesome, on-point comedic, villain things. I want more of that. So hopefully we get more of him acting like that, because that's just super cool. I thought that was amazing. But anyway, what happens is that Felicity finally finds out about William, and Thea knew already. Diggle and Laurel didn't know, so they kind of found out, but, and they found out about Samantha as well, and Barry knew about it, and I thought that it was just hilarious that Felicity was just like, this is crazy. And it ends up ending Felicity, which I was super mad about. Like, I complained so much. I was like, you know what? I wasn't complaining for the fact that I'm a big fan of it. I was complaining because it's like, you've been trying to pair these two up for so long, and I hate the fact that you broke them up. Now, obviously, we have a little clue, we have a little teaser that I'm going to talk about Felicity, and about how they're going forward with their lives, so I'm going to talk about that in this video. But anyway, yeah, it kind of set up this whole Samantha thing. Samantha comes, Oliver talks about it, and basically, Damian Darhk wants Oliver to drop out of the mayoral campaign and promote his wife, Ruve. I finally learned the name, finally learned it. So I was just like, you know what, this is a really interesting story. I really like this episode. He calls in Vixen for help because they were like, well, we need magic versus magic. We can't do Constantine because he's in the down under. He can't help at this time. But I love that joke though. But then they call in Vixen, and I thought that was really interesting. Her name is Vixen. She lives in Detroit. We had an animated encounter a year ago. Oh, it was so good. I loved it. So anyway, Vixen ends up coming into the story. Love her in live action. Like, when we heard all the animal noises when she was hunting down those guys, loved it. And it was in Detroit, too, when we visited it, so I thought that was really cool, too. So, loved that. That was incredible. Vixen ends up getting brought into this. She even smells the Barry, the Flash action figure. That was really cool, too. But yeah, it turns into this really fun thing where it's like Vixen versus magic. So they ended up doing that one scene where they go versus Damian Darhk in that first part. And she, she totally comes in in the first big action sequence and meets Damian Darhk. Magic versus magic. It gets crazy. And they talk a lot about Vixen's backstory in this episode and how Damian Darhk even knew about the totem because he's been around for a long time, so he would know about this magical artifact. So it was really interesting to see them kind of fight because her magic was almost just as strong to defeat him, although his magic was way stronger. And how they explain it is that there was an idol. The totem is Vixen's item. Damian Darhk has his item, which which is really interesting too. So I thought that was really cool. Pause, and let's talk about the flashbacks real quick. So the flashbacks, Conklin was there. He was like Beyond Two Souls. Have you ever played that video game, Beyond Two Souls? He was like Jody Iden version Beyond Two Souls Conklin Arrow. So I thought that was really interesting. Wouldn't it be weird if Ellen Page guest starred? That would be weird. But anyway, yeah, that was really interesting to see that too, and how Baron was actually testing, both the tattoo and Oliver. So that was really interesting too. But not too much in the flashbacks because of Vixen. Let's be real here. Vixen's awesome. But we get a little bit more of Vixen backstory. Like, she kind of throws it around a little bit. We get more of them fighting. The action sequence where she uses her powers to crash into there, and it's like, I don't think your insurance will cover that. Amazing. I loved it. And then when the motorcycle action sequence, like with Thea bending back to shoot that arrow while Laurel had that like riding in the wind look. Oh, that was so cool. Like I love when Arrow does its stunts and it's things like that because that's just really cool. That's just like that's what Arrow is. That it's the Flash, obviously, and Supergirl too, if you want to throw in her too. They have superpowers, so it's kind of going to be like the superhero fight scene, which isn't bad, but it's not as exciting as what goes on Arrow when they do like actual big fight scenes with combat and things like that. That's just really cool. Like Thea, she's amazing. Like I actually prefer Thea over Laurel right now, just because Laurel, her fight scenes are cool, like how she flung the guns around in this episode, but she's not Black Canary. Like, Black Canary is a huge combat fighter. Like, she's one of the best fighters in the DC universe. I don't really see that in Laurel. They need to keep beefing her up. They need to keep giving her good fight scenes. Like, Thea got a backwards arrow shot. Why can't Laurel have awesome stuff like that? Like, how come she can't, like, flip off of a wall and, like, do a cartwheel off the wall onto a guy's shoulders and take him down? Like, why can't she do awesome stuff like that? So I feel like they need to learn how to give Laurel a little bit more credit, but just as good as when she was riding on the motorcycle. But we got more Vixen stuff with her fighting, Damian Darhk and taking his idol, like when she did the cheetah flip or panther flip or whatever it was, took the idol away and then tried to bang it down, like break it. Like she totally went ape crazy, like with an actual gorilla, like, and then all the other animals flying out of her when she broke that idol. Really cool. Her power, like the Damian Darhk's powers went away. That was also interesting. And just to see how Green Arrow, like how William was rescued and how he's like, I want a Green Arrow doll now, or a Green Arrow action figure. So that was really cool too. To see that, really. And why couldn't he say, I want, like, a Black Canary and a Speedy one, too? So that was really interesting that he preferred his Green Arrow now. Take that, Oliver. But it was, or take that, Barry. But it was really interesting to see, him rescue William and this big thing with Samantha. Also, Laurel on the side. Like, when Oliver was with Laurel, he was with Samantha, too. And they kind of acknowledged that, which is good, because it's honest, and it is real-life stuff. Like, when you have someone who's with a character, like, with someone and then like cheats on you with this other person or other people too, like Oliver did, it's in real life 5 years or however many years later, they're gonna acknowledge that, like Laurel did. So I thought that was really real life and really like it made sense for her to feel that sting, like that emotional like imprint from like years before years before Black Canary, years before Green Arrow. So I thought that was really cool too. But that was like really interesting. I really liked that. But it was really cool to see that they did, like, all the Vixen stuff. Really loved her on the show. I think some of my favorite moments were just her giving speeches to Oliver, like how she did the backstory and stuff like that, talked with the totem a little bit. I thought really liked that. Not because of her fight scenes were awesome, too. Like, let's be honest, those fight scenes were cool. But just her, like, talking to Oliver, giving him this speech was really interesting. And I really like to see her on Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. Really, I have a big awesome lineup, which we'll talk about in a bonus video someday, but I really want, like, Constantine, Vixen, Stargirl, Captain Atom, Mr. Terrific, and, like, I don't know, maybe, like, another character from DC, too, like, who else is there? Maybe Connor Hawk from the future could come back on the show. That would be really cool to see for Season 2, like, that lineup that I just gave you was really interesting. So I really want, like, Vixen obviously has to be on there. Like, let's be real here. What did you guys think about the Magic versus Magic? If I had to have another Magic character, I'd definitely have Zatanna or Zatara, whichever one. But I really want to have, them on the show too. Just because, like, if I really like the magic that they're doing for Season 4. It's really mystical, yet not magic. So I really like what they're doing with that. But what did you guys think about this episode? We also got some Thea and Merlin stuff. Like, that just whole, like, conflict scene with Thea battling Merlin. Like, that was really awesome. Like, I really love that. Like, that was, like, that's Thea's nephew that he just, like, kidnapped. I thought that was really interesting, too. Not really kidnapped, more as just lured, but, still. But what did you guys think of this episode? If I left anything out, which I don't think I did, but actually, no, I was going to talk to you about Felicity. I really loved when when Felicity broke up with Oliver, put the ring on the table, and then she was able to walk again. I don't know how I feel about that. That was really kind of just, like, it's kind of like a reference, like she's actually walking out on Oliver, so I thought that was really clever, how they just kind of like foreshadowed that a little bit, like into her walking again. I don't know how I felt about it though, like she could have like just rolled out, I don't know, it was kind of weird. And now she can't be Overwatch. I mean, she can, but it won't be as cool as when she had the wheelchair, right? But anyway, she walks out on him. And they actually, Mark Guggenheim posted this photo of Felicity in a wedding dress and Oliver in a tuxedo, and down the aisle, and she was standing, of course, and he said, this is no trick, no thing like that, it's actually true, it's actually going to happen. So they are going to get married at some point, which is kind of weird how they spoiled it, unless they're turning it around, like saying it's not something, but it's actually like a dream or something. Unless they're doing that, they kind of spoiled it a little bit. But let's be honest here. Like, they're gonna get married. Like, I kind of knew that. It's like, that's what TV shows do. They have a couple, they break up, they get back together, then they finally marry. And it's kind of different with superheroes because superheroes don't really have relationships. They're not allowed to have relationships. So I thought that was really interesting too. But what did you guys think of this episode? Comment down below. What do you think about Felicity dead for right now? And do you want Black Canary, Green Arrow relationship? Because I kind of thought there was like a little bit of teasing the past with them. Do you want that, or do you want Felicity, or do you want somebody else, like Samantha coming back too? Even though Oliver made that whole speech on the laptop about Samantha and William going away. But what did you guys think of this episode? Comment down below. What was your favorite part? And did you love Vixen? And do you want her on Legends of Tomorrow? A link there to my other Arrow videos. Links on there to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and Sims channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe those. Other than that, like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.